Hi, I'm Josh Ellsworth with Stahls. For over 80 years, Stahls has been the leader in heat printing. We manufacture the most technologically advanced heat presses along with a wide variety of solutions for heat printing team uniforms. This particular demonstration is one part of a complete tutorial titled Decorating Team Uniforms for High School Athletics. Now to watch that video in its entirety, you can click the link below right now. But if you have limited time and prefer to learn in sessions, then stay right here. This presentation is on decorating baseball jerseys. To buy any of the products featured, visit stahls.com. So we've completed football and basketball, now we're on to baseball. And there's a couple lessons for team uniform decorating that we could take from baseball as well and using numbering and lettering. We're going to do a couple style jerseys. We're going to do a 2-button jersey. Once again, this is a pretty lightweight fabric, so I could utilize the Premium Plus material. But I also want to show you, that's your choice. You can still use Thermo-FILM on lightweight fabrics. It's just going to feel a little heavier, but then you have the benefits of using the pre-cut numbers that we discussed. So we'll decorate this jersey with pre-cut numbers and Thermo-FILM and a cut name. And then we're also going to show you how to do a split front jersey, which is one of the most frequently asked questions, how to decorate split front jerseys. And we've set up the art once again in CAD-Works Live. It has a split front effect where it automatically splits it for you, makes it very easy to cut and line up. So let's go ahead and weed the Thermo-FILM for our 2-button jersey first. I could have done a standard block font, and this is just something to keep in mind when you start getting into more complicated fonts where you have to weed out the center. You're adding more to the labor in the process, so you may want to have to categorize your fonts in a couple different ways, one that's a base price point and one that's a complex price point, but that's up to you. And now for the split front, we're also going to do 2-color pre-cut numbers, which is another option. So when I lay them on the shirt, you'll see how to do it, but you can do 2-color for pre-cut numbers, and it already comes set up with the required gap space. So we'll go ahead and load the baseball jersey onto the press, split it, thread it on. Now most people, if they were decorating this jersey, and we don't have an application to do up on these areas for this design, but if you had to, you could do a couple things. One is you could load a heat printing pillow into the shirt and simply unbutton the shirt. That way the buttons sink in and you get a nice even application pressure in these areas without being impacted, and the buttons are covered so they don't melt. But with our placement, I'm just going to simply drape those off of the edge. That way they're not in the way. And let's go ahead and preheat. Position my design. Now I need to trim this a little closer because I want the numbers to kind of fit up in here within the design. Still going to use the buttons as a alignment grid, a couple inches down and centered. And then I'm grab my 4-inch die cut numbers and position them underneath. There isn't a requirement to put numbers on the front of a baseball jersey. It's simply your customer's choice, and it's good for looks. I like having a number on the front of the jersey, so there's no size requirements, anything like that for the front of a baseball jersey. But we'll talk about that on the back a little more. Cover it. Compress everything together for 8 seconds, which right now I'm on 4. Needs to be 6 to 8 seconds. And remove the backing. You can kind of see how Thermo-FILM nicely takes on the texture of the polyester it's being applied to. So even though it's thicker, it still takes the texture of the the product and really looks nice. Spin this and get over to the back. Now for those without a threadable heat press, you would just lay the jersey on there. Once again, you're going to need a pillow because otherwise these buttons are going to want to print through to the back side of the numbering. Here they're completely out of the way, just like you're loading a screen printing press, so I don't have to worry about them. Position my name. And position my number. Make sure you set the number up correctly. We were working with number 24, not number 42. Cover everything and press. Thermo-Film has one of the fastest, easiest applications for heat transfer film. And we have a completed jersey. Now we'll show you how to do the split front jersey. And so when you're doing a split front, the first thing you want to do is undo the buttons. And then I usually like to thread it on the press upside down. That way it's in the same direction as if I were buttoning it up and wearing it. And of course the left side is going to overlap the right side. And you actually want to use a heat printing pillow for this, especially once we get to the buttons on the other side. But I'm simply going to position this. Once again, I get a preheat to remove those moisture and wrinkles. And then I'll take the design and find the location. And the software perfectly splits the design. Now you do have to type in the gap space, the overlap that you have. In this case we have a 2-inch overlap. That way the word reads properly on the jersey. So I'll start with this side. I'm just going to tack this down for a couple seconds since it's a 2-color application. Remove the backing. And I'm going to line my blue color up inside of there. And then I'll use a cover sheet since there's a little bit of the white exposed there. Actually trimmed this apart a little bit incorrectly, so I'm going to go ahead and slice the part of the design. You want to make sure you trim it correctly and line it up in here. Should be no problem. Then I'll cover it up and I will press it for the full amount. Remove the backing. And now I'm ready to do the other side in the same manner. Now here's where the Teflon pillow is going to come in handy, because these buttons are actually going to sink down into the pillow when you press. And I'll make sure I use a cover sheet, that way I don't melt the buttons at all. And preheat this side. For a few seconds. Position my design. I'm actually going to fold this side up to make sure I have everything lined up properly as if it's buttoned. I can see I need to drop a little bit. Make sure I have the buttons covered, and tack that side down for a few seconds. And align my last layer inside of there. Once again, covering the buttons and pressing for the full 6 to 8 seconds. Once again, with baseball, with high school baseball, there's no need for a number on the front of the jersey unless you choose to put it there or the team asks for it. It's not a requirement. So we'll show you a good look at that momentarily. For now, we're just going to go ahead and press the back of the jersey as well. Since I removed the pillow, I have to adjust my pressure back down. For this, I'll do a player name. And as promised, we'll utilize the pre-cut numbering in a 2-color application. So I'll put the backgrounds down first. Now you can order these pre-cut numbers in team packs. You can get like number 1 through 20. You can also order them just in packs where you get 10 digits in the pack of each number, color, size, whatever, or you can order large kits. So just consult with the website to figure out the best way to order for your needs. Just going to tack this for a few seconds just to get that background number pressed on. And now it's very easy to take my foreground and make sure it lines up in there. On the Thermo-Film, you'll see, you know, the adhesive side will be pretty dull, and the right reading side that should be face up has a little bit of a semi-gloss finish to it. Cover it all, then I'll heat them all together. I'm going to make sure I do the full 8 seconds so the background gets enough time as well. It's really easy. We have 2 completed baseball jerseys to review.